Hi, my name is Jennifer Solak. I'm an estate planning and probate attorney in Texas and Louisiana. And today I wanted to talk about important considerations when naming guardians for your minor children in an estate plan. Obviously, this is one of the most important decisions that you'll have to make, and it's typically one of the topics that we discuss most with young families that come to our office. So the first consideration to make is just that good is better than perfect. And so when we're talking about naming somebody else to potentially raise your minor children, we're obviously talking about a very less than ideal situation. And so while it isn't perfect, the alternative is that a judge who doesn't know your family and maybe only knows a little bit about your children and the family dynamics is going to be the one that makes the decision. And so when faced with that alternative, I'm sure that the parents are obviously in a better place to make the best choice for their child. And so that's just one thing to consider. You know, when you have the opportunity to do so, it's important to just get down your choices and your thoughts on paper. So good is better than perfect. That's the first consideration to make. The second consideration is the timeline. If your children are still very young, I would say it's important to consider the health and age of whoever it is that you might name to be guardian of your children. You want to name somebody who would be able to kind of stay with them, barring any unforeseen circumstances, and help raise them to maturity. Another thing about timeline that comes up a lot is parents are concerned that maybe the friends or the family members who might be the right choice right now, they worry that down the line their child might not feel as close to those people or that person. And that's a valid concern. But to that, I just say, try to think about somebody who would be right for your child in the next 3 to 5 years. And so, you know, with that in mind, the declaration of guardian or the guardian nomination is something that can always be updated very simply. And so name the best person for the next 3 to 5 years. And hopefully it won't be needed in the next 3 to 5 years. And if your feelings have evolved at that point and you feel that somebody else might be a better choice, we can always update it at that time. Another consideration is whether you have a preference for co-guardians. And a lot of people do, they're very close to a family couple or a friend couple, and that's who they envision that would take their place, you know, if called to do so. And while I think that's also a great choice, it's important to consider whether you want both of those people jointly only or individually. So if you choose your sister and your sister's husband, for example, well, what if something happened to your sister? Would you still feel comfortable with her husband raising your children? Maybe yes, maybe no, but important that you kind of think that through so that in the guardian nomination we can spell things out in the right way. And if you feel comfortable with, you know, both or either, we can say that they can be nominated to serve jointly or individually. So just important to kind of think through those different particulars in your own life and who would be right for your children. And finally, you want to think about some people who have similar qualities to you. So people who feel the same way about religion, about education, about spirituality, and maybe the same about respect for certain life choices. You want to make sure that the kids would be raised with somebody with similar values as you. A question that we often get, which I would place less importance on, is somebody who is also financially capable. You can always name somebody else to manage your child's money and another person as their caregiver. And in many families, there is somebody who is perfect in the role of a caregiver, but there's somebody else who's perfect in the role of a financial trustee, and that's perfectly fine. You know, you can do that, and then your kids can be cared for holistically in the best way with everybody in their life. And finally, I would just like to mention, if you found this video helpful, if you could please click the bell below to subscribe to our channel. I'd really appreciate it. That would help YouTube know that you found this video helpful and we should keep making more of them. So thank you so much, and I appreciate you tuning in.